What the Dude, I think there's coolant coming out of the front crank seal.
Well, that's not good. So yeah, it's Thursday and I still don't have an engine mount. Wicked. Which is a bit annoying because I was super pumped to get this thing running today. I woke up early, watched 7 videos on Rocky Mountain Race Week. Kind of jealous that I'm not there. Yeah, and I was really hoping to get everything sort of sorted on this car. But I have had some progress and I've got a bit of a plan on what we're going to do today. Actually, it's not even on the table. So you guys know what's gone on. We now have the outlet in place. Now this was not straightforward. If you've been following along, you would have seen that this outlet here is a modified right-hand drive version because our standard right-hand drive ones are super skinny. In fact, you look at it at that angle, it's just a bit of a joke. Now, I've seen a few different ways that people modify these, and most of them, they just get rid of this outer section, so the air sort of comes out and it can sweep around. It's the steering column that comes down in here. However, the one that I purchased, they've actually scalloped or undone this scalloping as well. So that one, hopefully I got a picture of it or a video of it before, but mine had actually been modified on both sides. Now when I sat it on these turbos, it fits fine, but when I put it on the 17Ts, it would actually hit the manifold casting right there. So after a bit of, well actually to be honest, I spent about an hour trying to fit it on the car, and it's quite tight up in there and you can't actually see where it's hitting the manifold, but it is just up in there. So I was messing around with it for ages, couldn't get it to work, decided to have a go at fabricating, which I did. Go up a bit. That's it. Looks a bit better. And after 2 attempts at fabricating, hitting it with a hammer, we've actually got enough clearance and it hasn't made too much of a mess. It's still definitely going to flow a lot better. And I think I did snap a photo of it on that turbo there so you can see the difference between the standard and this one. But anyway, the outlets are now on. The silicone inlets are now also on. And I've also put the new head to thermostat pipe on. So unfortunately, because I don't have that engine mount, we're not going to get it running today. But what else can we do? We can get the cooling system all hooked back up. In fact, I could probably get most of it back together. What I might try and do for this video is get the rest of the, what else can we put on? Get the dump pipes on, get the water pump on, the thermostat on, and I'm going to pressurize the cooling system, which I can do with a pressure tester, and that way I can make sure all my coolant lines don't leak. And because it's an electronic water pump, I can actually bleed the cooling system without starting the engine. And then, yeah, just got to pray to God that Fastway get that mount delivered so I can get it on tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday. It's nearly 2 weeks. Anyway, I actually cleaned the water pump and the engine mount bracket before, so I got all the oil and shit off them. Guys, we're going to switch to a time lapse. I'm going to get some work done, and I'll give you an update shortly if I find any problems. So water pump's back in, and I'm just getting ready to put the overflow bottle back in, but I'm going to put the heat shield slash bit that holds the, what are they called? Boost actuators? No. Vacuum solenoids. Boost solenoids. That tray back on, just because it'll be easier to do whilst the coolant bottle's out. Then coolant bottle in, fill it up with coolant, bleed the system, and we should be good to go. Actually, I'll show you guys how the water pump's gone. So there you go, that's the water pump, thermostat, the radiator hoses, all connected back up. It was a fair bit of messing around, and that rain piece took about 3 goes to align it properly so that the water pump would go in nicely. And this is a brand new thermostat, which should have made any difference, but I did. That was also a pain to get lined up as well. I ended up fitting it 3 times. Seems to be the go with assembling this. You have to do everything 3 times before it lines up properly. But we're there. I'd forgotten which way the bloody coolant hoses go, so if you guys are going to attempt this yourself, make good note of how and where the coolant lines run, because when you've got the aftermarket inlet, which hopefully you can see up there, which is much bigger than the original one, everything around this area gets fairly compact, and it gets a bit more difficult to work out how to run everything. But, guys, we're getting close. Intercooler's connected back up. I think we've just got to put that overflow bottle back on and I can fill the coolant up. So I'm going to use green coolant. Now Newlon, which is the brand of this coolant, I actually recommend this coolant for the the E90. But I noticed someone said that these are supposed to have blue coolant. So let me know if you're in Australia, because RE60 also runs green coolant, but I've noticed pretty much everything in the States runs blue. I wonder if it's a climate thing. Some vacuum. Yeah, let me know what you guys reckon I should be running coolant wise. This car had green in it when I got it. It also had a load of Chemi World, which is awesome. But if I should be running something different, let me know and I'll give it a flush. Well, I do happen to have a lot of green, so I thought I'd use the green today. So if you're a hardcore follower of the channel, you might have seen the Renault oil filling debacle. I did go and buy some funnels. So I think this is a 5 or a 6 litre bottle, which I've just mixed at 50-50. And I don't think it's going to fill the cooling system, but we'll see how we go. I must be hearing bubbles coming out. I thought I was hearing it hitting the floor. Sweet. More mess. That's one problem with the funnel, you don't see it coming out the top. Alright guys, well, the battery is hooked back up and I'm going to get the water pump into bleeding mode. Now to do that, I've got to basically put the heater on max with the ignition on. Obviously don't touch the brake pedal, and then hold the accelerator, I think, for 10 seconds. And we should hear the water pump fire up. There it is. That should have sucked it straight down. Did it, Dave? Keep going? Has it kept going?
Yeah, it's still going.
Finally! Woohoo! Right. So she's taken probably about 5 litres. Oh, it stopped again.
Stop.
Is the ignition turned off again? No, ignition's still on this time. There it is. It's doing its cycling thing. I think it stops to let the air move and then starts sucking again. So cooling system is bleeding up. seems to be okay. You can hear the water pump going. I've just popped it on charge while it's cranking the water pump. I just wanted to ask you guys, because it's bugging me. Actually, Dave, you better grab the Ryobi light. Just try and shine it down the back. So this hose here, I've tried realigning it, but it's sitting quite low and it's sort of pushing that sensor for the PCV into the rocker cover. If anyone's fitted silicon outlets, let me know if that's right, if they're all like that, or if that is an issue with these first racing ones. It might be fine. It might be because the engine is sort of still sitting up higher than it should be and it's squeezing it where it squeezes around the back of the block, but just thought I'd ask. It does sit particularly low. I've tried to align it on the turbo and just can't really get it sitting perfectly right. It's like it's twisted that way. Not that way, but rolled forwards, which you can't adjust on the turbo anyway. Front one also comes off on a funny angle, but it should be okay by the time it's got a pot on there. And God, we've made some mess. All right, we'll let that keep winding over and we'll pressure test the system. What the Dude, I think there's coolant coming out of the front crank seal.
Well, that's not good.
So we have coolant dripping down the front of the engine, which is awesome. Why is it dripping out the front of the engine? It's kind of scary. Okay. You can see it on the belt there. It's coming out of this fitting.
Which is sealed.
Yeah, we haven't touched it. How good's that? And the system's not even pressurized yet. Oh well. For a minute then I thought it was like coming out the bloody crank or something. Oh. So it appears we've got a problem with this hose connector, which I haven't touched, so I wonder if it was leaking before, or I wonder if they don't work when they're not under pressure. It's getting pretty late here. I'm going to end this video off here. Sorry, it's not the startup video that I was really hoping it was going to be, but we haven't got the engine mount anyway, so I won't be able to start it. But I was hoping to pressure test the cooling system and make sure we got no leaks from the coolant lines on the turbo. Actually, I might just flick it up in the air and we'll just make sure that there are no new leaks around the turbo. I'll take this battery charger off.
Ready?
Go for it. So ignore this coolant up here, that's just from the overflow. But can't see any around the coolant lines. I mean, I really want to pressure test them. I will do that before the subframe goes back on, but I might need to go to the parts store tomorrow and get another one of those top hoses. Blush. I literally shit myself when I saw the coolant there. I know someone bought a different brand of cheap turbos, but the machining was wrong inside and it leaked coolant into the sump. And because we're low on oil, I thought maybe the coolant was just coming straight out of the front main seal, front crank seal. Oh, exciting times. All right, well, we're getting closer again, but I had a few more hiccups. I'll go to the parts store tomorrow and see if we can get that hose working. Or if you know if that hose just won't seal unless it's under pressure, in case the O-ring's got to sit in a certain spot, please let me know. But yeah, takeaways from today's video. If you're right-hand drive, just be careful with the outlets when you're modifying the outlets. And yeah, remember where everything goes before you take it, while you're taking it apart. Oh, God. Never made so much mess before doing turbos. All right, guys, again, thank you very much for watching. Sorry it's not a startup video, but we're getting close. We will catch you on the next one.